This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Magus, and just wanted to talk a little WWE with you guys. I need to catch back up with NXT. I've been slacking on that. They have a big event coming that I need to check out. Or was it this past week? It may have been this past week, and if I missed that, I'm going to be pissed. I just need to get back into the flow of NXT. Because, again, NXT is always the better brand of wrestling. And we get reminded of that with Adrian Neville every week. Sami Zayn showing up against John Cena. Although there were botches in certain places, mind you, Sami Zayn did get legit hurt in that match, but it's a John Cena match. You expect some type of botch, not things going with a even flow, so to speak. It's John Cena, but hey, it is what it is. Payback, of course, is coming. I have so many issues with Payback, mostly because of how fast that it just comes up with. The scheduling for the pay-per-views after WrestleMania is a little janky. You had Extreme Rules, and then immediately, about 3 weeks later, you get Payback. I forget when Money in the Bank is. Thinking there's an extra week in between for Money in the Bank, though. So it's kind of weird, but I'm sure once we get the Money in the Bank, things are going to kind of settle down, because they're going to have to make that big push for SummerSlam. SummerSlam is their second biggest event after WrestleMania. So they got to do a hell of a setup. Now, my thoughts are, after this whole rigmarole with the Fatal 4-Way, which, even though we haven't done the prediction shows at the time of this recording, I'm saying it now, Seth Rollins is walking out of there with his belt in hand. But once that's done, now where are we going to go with him? And I think they're already planting some seeds as to where they may be going. I was talking to one of my viewers, Domel, about this, and I said that I had an idea of what was going on, and I wanted to kind of save it for doing a video to flesh it out. But the way I see it, and I think he's right too, that they're about to eject Seth Rollins and put him out on his own. But the way I see it going down, he's not going to be the first to go from the Authority. For some reason, I just have a feeling that what's going to happen is, with this whole beef between him and Kane, Kane's going to end up being on the outs, and we're going to see a semi-return to Kane's old self, where I don't think he's ever going back to the mask and the hair again. But I can at least see him going back to the red pants and things like that. Getting out of the business suit attire and just becoming Kane instead of corporate Kane. And just kind of going on a little bit of a rampage, trying to get his hands on Seth Rollins. I feel like that's kind of the setup where they're going to go with Money in the Bank, where Seth Rollins is going to have to kind of get his comeuppance against Kane, possibly. I'm not sure if they're going to make it a title shot, but I just feel like that's where they're going with that. After they rocket towards that, I feel like we are going to definitely see Brock show up, either immediately after the pay-per-view or somewhere around Money in the Bank, where he's going to show up, and that's going to propel a situation with Seth Rollins and him. What's going to make it even crazier is that at that time, as the heat with him and Kane goes, I feel like they're going to have Seth Rollins become a more frustrating entity. Damn, what's wrong with my words this morning? They're going to have him become a more frustrating entity within the Authority. Triple H and Steph are going to pretty much get tired of him, and you're going to start seeing less and less help from them. You're going to start seeing them express more anger with him. He's going to start rubbing people more the wrong way. We've already seen seeds of that as well when he came out to sit at the ringside to be the guest announcer after Jamie Noble was like the timekeeper, and Joy Mercury, I forget what he was, but you saw how they had everybody in the Authority kind of working the whole match, and he was just like yelling at them, saying stuff. You've seen him say some stuff that have kind of caused people to be like, well, fuck, really, dude? You want to come at me like that? I just see like it's getting to progressively to a point where they're pushing the whole situation so that there's going to be a split, and Seth Rollins is going to be chucked out on his own, left to his own devices, and have to fend for himself. And I feel like that's when, as things get progressively worse with the Authority, that's when Brock Lesnar is going to start to like show up more and just be gunning for him. Seth's going to be looking for help, and eventually I think it's going to culminate to where SummerSlam, Seth's going to get cornered by Brock. He's going to be looking for J&J Security. He's going to be looking for Hunter. He's going to be looking for the Big Show. Kane might even come back to Authority at that time. And I just see them turning their backs and walking away on him. And that's when Seth is just going to like flounder around for a while on his own and eventually start to go towards a more babyface lean. I don't think it's going to be a quick thing. I think that they should foster it for a while, like have him still trying to get back with the Authority, try to get back in their good graces, still doing some of the cheesy things that he does, that pisses people off, and just continue build to where I'd say someplace like Night of the Champions, or Hell in a Cell, where he just finally like has had enough, and he starts calling out people with Authority after SummerSlam and just building towards a little heat with them, so that by the end of the year people start turning back towards Seth Rollins. Because I honestly think that while Seth does a great job as a heel, as just like that slimy, annoying, God, I want to kick him in the face, little punk bitch of a heel, I think where he's going to be his biggest is going to be when he goes face. When Seth becomes a face, I've said this before, and I will continually say this like over and over, but once they put him as a face, that dude has the potential to be the next Jeff Hardy. He is that damn good in the ring, and I definitely want to see that happen. I really want to see that happen. I think that it's kind of necessary. I think it's going to help WWE move beyond having the older people carry a lot of the pay-per-views. If you can push him into the like mix as a face, or at least as an in-betweener, to where you can have like some more epic matches between him, Dean Ambrose, just have him mix it up with all types of people, it'll be phenomenal. I think it will be phenomenal. Now, it'll suck because WWE doesn't have enough heels. I think that's the one area where WWE really lacks, is the heel department. So I understand the need to, I understand why they like having Seth as a heel, because he's one of the better people out there as a heel. Same thing with Sheamus. I think Sheamus does a great job as a heel. Yes, I do think he's a great heel. His gimmick, again, it's kind of lame, but as a heel, Sheamus is pretty damn good. I think he does a really good job of being a heel. It works. It works. very much so, very much so works. But you know, WWE, they're not too smart. The best what's in their best interest, not always what they're gonna do. I mean, definitely not what's in the fans' best interest. That's for sure. But I don't know. We'll see. But that's how I feel about the breakup with Seth and everything. As far as the rest of the pay-per-views goes, I'm not gonna get too deep into it. We'll talk about this hopefully on the podcast. We'll get that done. And if not, we'll definitely talk Sunday, because Sunday I plan on doing a whole thing with WWE 2K15 on Twitch, where I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sim all the matches. We're going to sit in the chat. We're going to vibe out. We're going to look at the results and see what happens and get an idea of what, at least simulation says, to get some predictions out there for you guys. Either way, so even if you don't get the prediction show, you will get predictions. Trust me on that one. But there's some cool matches, but as with always, there's not much invested, especially now that Daniel Bryan is out of the mix. The IC belt has been relegated back to a who's next type of thing. I think with Dean in the Fatal 4-Way, he would be the next person that I would think would be someone who could carry the title a bit. And that's why I think now that Daniel Bryan's gone, I think that solidifies my thoughts on Seth Rollins winning, because I think they could drop it to Roman Reigns, but I don't think they're going to do that right now. I think they have a little bit more riding out with Seth to do, because I think it would just work way much more if you let Seth carry it through to SummerSlam, to a meetup with Brock, so Brock can get his hands on him finally and give us what we want. Because I think that's what a lot of us wants to see. Brock beat the shit out of Seth Rollins. You know what I mean? But I mean, there's a good mix of talent that can gun for the Intercontinental title, that can put on some good matches. Luke Harper, Dolph Ziggler. I think it's set up to be much more competitive, but I don't want it to be a merry-go-round like it used to. I need someone to grab that belt and have a Cody Rhodes type run. You know what I mean? Just to have a good run with it. Just to make it feel like, yo, this is something that people will battle for because it means something to them, as opposed to how it's just been treated like a whore and passed over and over again to whoever. Once they find somebody to take out the placeholder, someone like Wade Barrett, then they go, you know what I mean? They go over to the whole, okay, we'll give it to somebody to give them a push, then we'll take it off of them once we feel like they got the big enough push, or if the push isn't working. It just needs to have more weight. It just doesn't have weight anymore, and that sucks, and that really, really sucks. But we'll see. Hopefully, they will be able to do something about that soon. I really do hope that it becomes a much more valuable entity in the WWE. You got the Wade Barrett, Adrian Neville thing. Always look forward to Adrian Neville. Glad that he's starting to get a lot of buzz. I'm wondering where the Lucha Dragons are. They were doing well. They got a good buzz. They've disappeared, by the way. That's curious. The Axelmania Mandel. I feel bad for Damien Sandow because they're still using him as a gimmick, and I feel like they need, I don't know, I guess they feel like he can't get over unless he's doing a gimmick type of thing. His gimmick can't be Damien Sandow. It has to be Damien Sandow pretending to be blank. That's just crazy. But at least we get to see him in some action, some real action. Just hopefully he'll get a build. I just want him to get a build. That's all. Of course, you had the Tag Team Championship. Yo, what they're doing to New Day is awesome. I like what they're doing with the New Day. The New Day shit works. Again, I never did like the New Day gimmick, but this right here makes it interesting. You know what I mean? It definitely makes them fun to watch because you get the feeling that, yo, I just want to see these guys get their ass whipped. Whereas before it was just like, oh my god, why are they on the TV? I don't want to watch this shit. Now that they have the belts and they've become these annoying happy-go-lucky dudes, now you just want to see these motherfuckers get punched in the face. And that's what you want out of a heel. You want them to be punched. You want to get some type of visceral feeling where you're just waiting for them to get their ass kicked. And it's great when they don't get their ass kicked, because that just builds the heat. And you're just like, god damn it, they need to get their ass kicked. You know, so I'm looking forward to seeing them, give them a little more run. They need to let them run with this another month or so, and then once they get beat, the feeling will just be through the roof for people. Like, let them get beat at Money in the Bank, then people will be extra hyped, and that'll give you them time as well to get over some more tag teams. The thing with the Sandow and Axelmania shit that pisses me off more than anything is, look at the Ascension. They're fucking jobbers. They are total jobbers now. They were building these guys as monsters. Now all they do is just get their ass whipped by just about anybody. It's sad when you could have built a good force. And I know a lot of people say these guys don't really can't wrestle, blah blah blah. They're not the most exciting wrestlers, but for what their persona is, they do what they need to do. And that's the thing. They just need to be two big brawling maulers who just like struck fear in people. And WWE just totally took that away from them. There's so many tag teams that they could be building too, and this stuff. They just need to make the tag team division more exciting. WWE, you kill me. But yeah, the Cena match. I reserve my opinions for later. But overall, yeah, Payback's it's going to be watched, but it's just not rating extra high on my meter. But we'll see. I definitely need to get back into the NXT swing of things. But anyway, I think I rambled on for long enough. Again, be on the lookout Sunday for Twitch for the matches to be simulated. Look out for the podcast. Hopefully, we'll get that done. If we don't get the predictions and stuff done, we will definitely get the pay-per-view one done. Promise you guys, we're getting things together. And anyway, you guys hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Black Makers, and I'm out. Deuces.